Hello, I'll show you how to do integers with exponents. So let's get started. First, we have 7 squared. 7 squared, you know what it is. 7 times 7, which is 49. Now, let's move on to the second problem. We have 7 negative squared. If you don't know what I said negative squared, it's raised to the negative 2 or raised to the negative second power. But let's just continue on. Basically, we have 1 over 7 squared. In other words, we have 1 over to its positive exponent. So we have 1 over 7 squared. And we know what is 7 squared, which is 49. So we write 1 over 49. So yeah, that's the answer to the second problem. Now on to the third problem. We have negative 7 squared. If you don't know what are the parentheses for, the parentheses walks the whole base in. So basically it walks the whole negative 7, which means you square that whole number. So you have negative 7 times negative 7. And we know two negatives makes a positive, so I'm in positive 49 because negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. So yeah, that's the answer to the third problem of this set. Now let's move on to the fourth problem. We have negative of 7 squared. So in order to do this, you have to think as like this. It's like negative. The negative sign is not attached to that number. So we have negative of 7 times 7, which is 49. And you bring that negative sign down right here. So that the answer is negative 49. Now let's move on to the penultimate question of this set. We have negative 7 negative squared. So in order to do this, you have to write 1 over to its positive exponent. So you write like this. And then the next thing you have to do is to find what is negative 7 squared. Well, you've seen it before. It's positive 49. So you write positive 49. And don't forget, it's correct. I'm correct, right? So basically it's 1 over 49. Now on to the final problem. We have negative of 7 negative squared. So let's see what is the answer. So you know what the rule, right? Or the drill. So we have the negative sign not attached. So you have to think as like this. And then bring that negative sign down. And then follow the same rules there. So we have 1 over negative. It's like this. So we have negative 1 over 7 squared. You already know what it is. 7 squared is 49. So the answer to the final problem of this set is negative 1 over 49. Now let's move on to the next set, which is cubes. The first one we have is 7 cubed. And you already know what it is. It's 7 times 7 times 7, which is 49. 7 times 7 is 49. And then we have to multiply by 7. So in order to do this, you have to use this multiplication thing, which is this short multiplication. So we have 9 times 7, which is 63. Carry the 6. And then we have 7 times 4, or 4 times 7, which is 28, plus 6, that's 34. So the answer to the first problem is 343. Now let's move on to the second one. We have 7 negative cubed. Negative cubed means to the negative third power or to the power of negative 3. But anyway, let's just continue on. We have, so you remember the rule, right? So we have 1 over to its positive exponent. So 1 over 7 cubed, that's just simply 343, as shown right there, or showed right there. But now we have the third problem of this set. We have negative 7 cubed. Remember, the parentheses walk the whole base in, so it's the whole negative 7. So we have negative 7 times negative 7 times negative 7. Negative 7 times negative 7, that's positive 49. And then, what is a positive times a negative? It's a negative, so the answer is negative 343. Now, let's move on to the next one. We have negative of 7 cubed. So you have to think as like this. So we have negative 7 cubed. I mean negative of 7 cubed. So we have negative sign, and we have 7 times 7 times 7. Now, what is the answer? Well, you've seen it before. It's 343. So you have to write 343. So yeah, that's the answer to this problem. We have negative 343. Now, on to the penultimate question of this set. We have negative 7 negative cubed. Remember, parentheses lock the whole base in. So you write like this. But also, we have the negative exponent, so we have to write it as a fraction. So we write this. So we write 1 over to its positive exponent. So it's like this. And then, what is negative 7 cubed? You've seen it. It's negative 343. So, yes, you write it like this. Make sure to write that negative sign, or you can write over here. So the answer is negative 1 over 343. Now, move on to the final problem. We have negative of 7 negative cubed. So remember, the negative sign is not attached. So you can think of it like this. So we have negative sign, and we have the negative exponent again. So we write like this. And then what is 7 cubed? Oops. We have 7 cubed again. So, but you already know what it is. It's right here. 343. So you write 343 here. So that's the answer. Again, it's the same one. It's negative 1 over 343. So you know the basics, right? Whatever it has an even exponent with the negative base locked in, the answer is going to be positive. But if the negative sign is not attached to the base, then the answer is negative. So yeah, but this only works for even exponents. For odd exponents with negatives, it's always negative. So yeah, that's the rules that you need to learn. Anyway, this is the end of the video. So see you soon. Bye.